School of Scents video that he dropped a couple days ago, and he's talking about fragrances that are no longer relevant in 2025. Let's get into it because I don't know, like I don't know. I started watching this guy when I started getting my fragrance journey, you know what I'm saying? And I'm interested to know what he thinks about 2025. So let's move forward.
I don't know what the point of this fragrance is anymore, and maybe it's just less relevant. What do you guys think? This might be a controversial take. Whether it's because the fragrance overly relies on synthetics or because there is a change of taste with the passage of time, there are some fragrances in the modern market nowadays that are just...
Real quick, I actually rock with my guy. Like, he seems to be sophisticated, knowledgeable, you know what I'm saying? I don't know this guy in real life, but I mean, when I started my fragrance journey, like, I just kind of gravitated towards this guy because he just seemed to know what he was talking about. So
it's not worth buying anymore. Usually there are better alternatives and your money is usually spent better elsewhere. So we have 10 fragrances today that I'm going to discuss that I think are classics, fair enough, but are kind of irrelevant in the modern market.
Let's see.
Let's begin.
See, look at this guy. He's got good editing. Like, I guess I was just drawn.
Armav's Club de Nuit Intense Man, the Eau de Toilette. I'm holding...
I think it's irrelevant. I think it's irrelevant. I'm not going to say it's irrelevant, what he just said. Like, I'm sure a lot of people like that fragrance, but I feel like that fragrance is just for, like, young kids who ain't got no money. You know what I'm saying? If you got some money, you probably wouldn't get that. I've smelled it in a store before. It was pretty harsh, but after the harshness dried down, it was good. Let's see what he got to say.
The Eau de Parfum here in my hands. The original Eau de Toilette really set off the game for the clone market, let's say, where a Middle Eastern brand will take a very expensive niche fragrance, in this case, Creed Aventus, and make it more easily accessible.
That's like saying Creed Aventus. That's like saying Creed Aventus is irrelevant. Creed Aventus it's people love that. I mean, we not gonna act like, yeah, everybody loves Creed Aventus, but we're just not going to act like it's not a good fragrance and it's irrelevant. So if this is irrelevant, Creed Aventus is irrelevant. And I don't know if I agree with this. Let's continue.
Intense Man Eau de Toilette smells a bit brash. It's not the best version of Creed Aventus anymore. It's not the best version of Club de Nuit. The Eau de Parfum here is fantastic. The limited edition Parfum, which doesn't seem to be limited edition at all anymore. He seems to be always available now. That is smoother as well. So
I wish I could grow a beard. I see motherfuckers like this and they got a beard. It really
spray
just
on my hands. I haven't really tested it
properly. He's a cool guy, I'm sure, but I just don't have a beard.
Clones of Creed Aventus. You don't really need it. Of course, Aventus Absolute. Some people say it smells even better than Aventus, and there are clones of that also, like Club de Nuit Intense Man Précieux or Afnan Supremacy Collector's Edition. And even outside of the Club de Nuit Intense line, for the original Aventus, I've always said L'Aventure and L'Aventure Intense, which I haven't tested properly yet, in fairness, but that line
it makes sense. I get it.
Accurate to Aventus. Club de Nuit Intense Man Eau de Parfum is what you go for compliments, and L'Aventure is generally what you go for more accuracy. Victor and Rolf Spice Bomb Extreme. You may have noticed that no one really talks about this fragrance anymore since it got reformulated. Apparently, it's got gutted.
All right, so Spice Bomb Extreme. In all fairness, I've never smelled that. I never really thought that was something for me. It just seems tacky. Like, I don't know. I'm sure it's badass. I'm sure people like it, but it's just tacky to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Carolina Herrera, like the lightning bolt, like with the bad boy fragrances. I don't want a fucking lightning bolt. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just continue.
To like a third of his usual performance, which kind of makes it a little bit irrelevant. Kind of the whole premise of this fragrance
is that it's
like extreme. It's supposed to have a great performance.
I gotta figure out where I can find a shirt
Christmas in the bottle, spices, cinnamon, cumin, tobacco, vanilla, really intense, beautiful. I think nowadays, if you want an intense Christmas-esque fragrance, you might go for something like Parfum de Marly Ojan. That's one of the best fragrances in Parfum de Marly. Or you can go for the Spice Bomb Infrared Eau de Parfum Flanker, which is beastly. It's a different take on this DNA. It's not exactly the same, but if this is gutted now, I don't know what the point of this fragrance is. I'm cool with that.
It's so many fragrances that just smell like
it's just less relevant. What do you guys think? This might be a controversial take. The original Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette. Not only is the Parfum concentration better in my opinion, but also Sauvage, at this point, I think it's...
Bro, why the fuck everybody always hating on Dior Sauvage? Like, he couldn't, I guess, I ain't gonna say he hate, you know what I'm saying? Like, I need a shot, man, before I get going. Let me take a shot real quick. I don't get it. Like, everybody wants to be Dior Sauvage, and we find ways to hate on it. Like, I have the Elixir. It's a masterpiece. And I have Jasada Ambassador. That smells just like Dior Sauvage Eau de Parfum, except it has a mango note. I don't see, like, people, I was walking in the gym and a guy smelled that. Granted, it's not Dior Sauvage, but it smells just like Dior Sauvage Eau de Parfum. It's just like it. I would not bullshit you. And I guess he was a kid. I'm saying he was a kid. It's probably like 19, 20. And he was like, what is that you're wearing? I was like, Dior Sauvage. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I guess he finna go buy it. I take that back. When I went, that's what I just told you is true. When I went to Ulta to go get Dior Homme Parfum, one, it was sold out. But there was somebody trying to buy Dior Sauvage. Like, I don't think he was trying to get the EDT. I'm sure this guy didn't know what he was fucking doing. But, I mean, it's not irrelevant. Like, it's a good fragrance. It's just that everybody has it. Like, we not gonna do this in 2025. Like,
it's now, 10 years old? I think it came out 2015, if I'm correct. This smells basic now, especially to us fragrance collectors. There's a good number of
point. Fragrance collectors might think it's basic, but to the average person
basic,
who
so
don't wear a whole
well
lot of fragrances, it's not basic.
Probably to non-frag heads, honestly. It's so prevalent and widespread. Good for them, but I feel like as fragrance collectors, this is becoming less relevant. It is synthetic as well. It's kind of revolutionary for its time in the mid-2010s, but nowadays in mid-2020s, do you still want to reach for something like this? There are better alternatives. There's stuff like Afghan Tarathi Blue that's even better, honestly, for spending more.
If you want to get Tarathi Blue, I ain't never smelled it, but
fair enough. Okay, but
he wants you to get it.
You know, I feel like that's what, a third of the price of Sauvage, and
I don't think
it's a little bit less
Sauvage if you want
that DNA.
If you want to go get it.
I don't know. I kind of feel like Sauvage Eau de Toilette is becoming less relevant rapidly.
37.9% of people who watch School of Scent are subscribed to us. If you guys really want to see our channel grow,
I do
go
want to see
ahead
this guy
and click
channel
subscribe. Let's get that
subscribe
number
to him. I'm not
40%.
subscribed to him. He just pops up on my feed.
Ideal Extreme. This one's kind of painful because I love this. This is a 9 out of 10 to me. This is a sexy plum, boozy, cinnamon, leather, almond fragrance, a very unique evening scent from the brand of Guerlain. But Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Parfum now exists, and to me that's just a better performing version of Extreme. So it's not that this is irrelevant.
I
it's more like
want a
the
Guerlain
flanker is
fragrance.
better. So
I
save
want
up
the
a little
one
bit
with
more
cherry
with the
and
Parfum. I've
almond.
only sprayed one spray of that fragrance, but from what I'm reading,
EDL.
from my limited experience with that one spray from the
Extreme
department store,
I think that's the one with
the
the
L'Homme Ideal Parfum
cherry
is better. And also there's Vetiver Parfum, which to
I
me
think this
smells
is the
like
same
it's
one.
more
Telling me not to
smooth,
get
a
it.
little
I
modern
mean,
than the original Vetiver also.
fuck
So
me.
these new flankers again are kind of updating,
I'm gonna get it,
revitalizing
though.
these ideas,
I think I'm gonna
kind of
get it.
making
If it's
the
on sale, I'm
originals
gonna get it. I
redundant
don't
in a
care.
way. Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille. This is iconic, smooth tobacco, very sexy vanilla.
I
some
agree.
dried fruits
If
in
you
there,
want a
little bit
cheaper tobacco
chocolatey.
vanille, just
this
get
is a special occasion evening scent that is
Just get. It's
replicated
I have a dupe
beautifully
on my
through
channel. Check it
Alhambra
out.
Amberu Tobacco Edition. I kind of think if that
Get,
fragrance now
it's
exists,
so many
you don't really
things you
need
could
to
get.
this.
Just do some research.
Also, I kind of just
but
feel like this DNA
honestly, if
is
you like
not
Lamal
as
Elixir,
much of a
just get
wow
that. It's
factor
like-
as it used to be. I
it's
feel
not
like
as
Tom
strong
Ford
with
needs
the
to
tobacco
just
note,
update
but
their
it's-
game in
it's the
general.
same
They need to make
vibe.
more iconic and memorable private line scents. It's a general issue for the brand. So in my opinion, those are the reasons why I don't think Tom Ford Tobacco Vanilla is worth spending that high price tag for anymore. The original Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male. Now this one kind of pains me also because this is a fragrance
I agree with that. Lamal is, I don't want to say it's outdated. I don't want to say it's irrelevant, but it's just so much better things you could get than the original Lamal. If you're a collector, get it. But I think I'm a collector now, and I'm not gonna buy that shit.
really like. It is iconic. It's a classic, but it's 30 years old now. This came out in 1995, so that's kind of crazy. And time has flown by for sure. I like the fact.
Quick story with the original Lamal. I've got a buddy. He's one of my best friends, and he used to keep that shit in the trunk of his car. His car is fucking always gross and smell like wet, dirty boots. But when we would go out and go do whatever, that motherfucker would pull that Lamal out. And I didn't know what the fuck he had. We used to jank his ass because he had that bottle. He pulled that shit out and spray it. It smelled good, but I just thought it was some bullshit at the time. Like, I was just 20. I was 20 years old. Like, I didn't know what the fuck he got. So, I guess it is kind of irrelevant. We can roll with it. It's irrelevant.
This is an interesting take on a barbershop DNA. It's sugary, sweet, vanillic, minty still, balanced. It's sexy still, but it smells a little bit outdated. I feel like this is still a relevant fragrance for collectors who want to appreciate history and the iconic sense
I agree.
before. But there are more modern takes on something like this, like Gucci Guilty Elixir, for example, or even Le Mal Le Parfum, which to me is a more modern take
Le Mal Le
on the
Parfum,
original. So yeah,
that
still
shit is
iconic, still love it,
overrated.
but
We're gonna
it's
get
starting to
into
get
it. That
outdated.
shit
It's
is
starting to
overrated.
smell outdated, in my opinion. What do you guys think? Yves Saint Laurent La Nuit de l'Homme Bleu Electrique. Sexy, fantastic fragrance.
I think
Loved it
that's
when it first came out.
that's discontinued. Obviously, it's irrelevant. We're gonna keep watching, but it from what I understand, it's discontinued. If it's discontinued, like, it's irrelevant. Like, you gonna pay an arm and a leg to fucking get it. I mean, fuck me.
Gave us a 9 out of 10. But now Al Nashama Caprice by Latifah exists, which I think really replicates it beautifully. It's more affordable, more easy to find, and longer lasting. I don't think it's an exact perfect replica, but you now just don't have to worry yourself about this really high difficulty to find it in certain regions. You don't have to worry about this being really highly priced, let's say, if it's limited in its availability. You can just go for the Latifah fragrance. I think this is a special fragrance. Actually, you'd be surprised. I still think the original La Nuit de l'Homme is still relevant, even though it's performed that well. I just feel like it has enough difference to this flanker that has still its own kind of charm to it. But I will say, yeah, you can still get the original. You can get the Le Parfum as well, the black bottle.
So I can get the original, but I can't get Bleu Electrique. Like, the original only lasts 4 hours. Like, I've smelled it. It smells nice, but it doesn't last long. It doesn't project. Somebody got to get up on you. Somebody got to literally be, like, trying to eat you to smell it. Like, if anything, the whole line's irrelevant, if we're being honest. But that's an issue for another day.
Or you can get Al Nashama Caprice, in my opinion. Those are the three I'm recommending currently right now. I don't think you need to hunt for this anymore unless you can find it really easily.
That's the whole thing. That's the whole crux to it. Don't hunt for that shit. Like, I don't know why anybody would go hunt for that shit, but...
Versace The Dreamer. Again, it's a shame I have to put this on the list. I do think this is a cool fragrance. It's iconic. It's historic.
I kind of want to get that fragrance from my dad.
It came out in the 90s. I think 1996. I don't know my dates anymore, but this kind of smells a bit strange anyways.
Like
I think it's a cool fragrance for someone who has a really weird artistic scent. It's even though this guy's lavender, it's irrelevant, tobacco, the florals in here, some nice musky tonka also. It's an interesting signature. It's an affordable scent. For this price range, you might see this as a beginner scent, let's say. But for beginners, I would go for something a bit more modern and easier to wear.
But I don't know, though. If it's some bullshit, I can't buy it for my dad because he got some shit. He got some shit. He don't be playing.
I am starting to think that this is starting to smell really outdated. What do you guys think? It's approaching its 30th birthday right now. Is Versace The Dreamer still relevant to most people? Yes or no? What do you think? Terre d'Hermès Eau de Toilette. This is a perfect 10 out of 10 to me with this old bottle, which lasts around 14 hours. But most people are saying, or a lot of people are saying anyways at least, that the new formulation is around 6 hours, which is a bit of a shame. I don't really see the point of getting the Eau de Toilette then anymore unless you're happy to reapply when there's a more modern flanker in Eau Givre.
And
also you have Terre d'Hermès Parfum. So you can go for Terre d'Hermès Parfum for the cooler weather, and then in the brighter seasons go for Eau Givre. You have that balance right there. Eau de Toilette, I don't know if you want to spend that money if you are getting something that's been heavily reformulated. It's a fantastic scent. Still try it. It's a masterpiece in perfumery in itself, in the scent profile. But yeah, that performance is disappointing. Are you guys getting that similar performance in the new batches still as well? And lastly, Versace Eros, which I just think I've been saying for many years now.
Versace Eros, that shit, like,
it smells
I don't want to say it's played out
basic,
of plain. I don't want to say it's played out of plain like Omar is saying, you know what I mean? But it's better things you could get than Versace Eros. I mean, a lot of people, like, if you want a party fragrance, just get Montal's Arabian's Tonka. You have a dream, you have a blast with that shit. Go buy it. It costs like $120, something like that. Just go buy it. That shit is better.
Much better alternatives now.
More expensive, but it's
simple, beginner-friendly, loud vanilla scent for the clubs. But there are fragrances like as are on the most wanted. There's Le Mal Elixir. There is Scandale Absolu. I don't really see the point of why you need to own Eros anymore. It's synthetic. It smells like it came from its time, 2012.
I think if you bought that for somebody and they wanted to wear it, it wouldn't be irrelevant.
Wow, time is flying, guys. I'm a dinosaur. I'm too old. But anyways, apart from that, forget that, guys. Versace Eros, it does feel outdated to me. It used to be like the hype beast back in the day. Everyone found it really sexy. It had its time.
Yeah, I think if you want to buy that fragrance, just go ahead and buy it. It's not a big deal. You know what I mean? It still smells good. It's just, it's other things you could buy in 2025. That's all.
I think it's time to move on. What do you guys think as well? Let me know your thoughts on the Versace Eros DNA. If you really want to get that blue bottle, go for the Parfum, in my opinion. I feel like that's the most kind of modern take on it, and it's more versatile to wear as well. What do you guys think about this list? Do you feel that I've been a bit harsh, a bit unfair?
I don't think my man's been harsh. I think he's just been honest. This guy right here, Omar, I think he's pretty knowledgeable in the fragrance game. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree with everything, but this guy, if you want to learn something, watch this guy. Comment, like, subscribe. Peace.